Good afternoon, everybody. Mark Drumheller here with Dave Gleckner. AFC Championship preview powered by the Sharp app. If you haven't downloaded the app, make sure you download today. Tons of great information, educational tools, AI prediction models. The link to download the app and the Discord, the free Discord, hop in there below. Is in below in the description. But listen, let's get into this action. 4 teams left in the NFL. Dave and I are here to break down the AFC first, which to me, I think is the most fascinating game in a while that I can remember. Just when you look at Joe Burrow and his rise, Patrick Mahomes, the ankle, the line movement that bettors have seen, Kansas City opening up as a small favorite, Bengals money pouring in. Then we see some resistance at 2.5. Ankle starts looking better. Do you see Mahomes at the press conference? Now we're seeing money kind of move back in on Kansas City. Dave, I think this one's fascinating. I mean, what is your take? Let's start with just about the ankle. How do you feel his mobility is going to be affected, if all? And, you know, just how that's going to how did that impact the game as far as from a betting perspective? How much did you look into that before placing your wagers on this one?
Yeah, brother. So first, this week deserves the shades. We got to come
back.
The
shades are back. Watch out. There we go.
Back. And
nice.
Hey, I put it this way. You know, you can see what you want, right? You can see him running around. There's an obvious reason they're putting that out there on TV for people. But I don't care what they see, show, whatever it is. A high ankle sprain is a high ankle sprain. And I've been watching sports for, 40 years, let's call it. Those things don't heal in 3 days. And I really do truly believe his mobility will be affected. Do I think he'll play the game and he'll play the full game? Yes. Barring any, freak rolling on it again. But do I think he'll be limited? And do I think he'll be 80% of what he is? Absolutely. And I think that 80%, I'm not even sure they were going to win this game at 100%. Patrick Mahomes, I'm really concerned that they're going to be able to look. We know what the Bengals do. That defensive backfield plays a very good cloud coverage. They don't let you get beat deep. I don't think the Bills had to throw over like 20 yards. Great linebacking core, and they'll rush 3 if they need to. And Hendrickson was still getting home. I just think without his mobility and without tricking up this, defensive backfield and playing it straight up, I think it's a disadvantage. I really think the ankle is a big problem.
I do. I think it makes a difference. And, for everybody tuning in, make sure you hit the like button and drop us some comments. Who do you got? Bengals, Chiefs? Put it in the chat, in the comments. If you guys have any questions about specific wagers during the game, we'd be happy to answer them for you as well. Following up on your point, Dave, yeah, I definitely think the ankle matters because if you look at Patrick Mahomes and what he's been able to do throughout his career, he does lean on his mobility in high leverage situations. You see him kind of sneak out of the pocket on third downs in the red zone. It is a weapon for him that he's going to be without. Now, listen, does that mean that he's not going to be able to be effective? Absolutely not. Like he can throw, he can be a pocket quarterback if he has to. They're going to score points in this one, but I do think it does make a difference. We got someone checking in the comments. High ankle sprains, they don't go away. They're going to be limited. Be honest, surprised they finished the game. That's kind of my take too. Like, I don't think there's any guarantee that he finishes the game. So let's get into like how we think the game's going to go. I will start with one of the first bets that I made. We'll kind of focus in on the first half. I did take first half over in this one, 23.5. I think it makes a lot of sense in the fact that if we look at how the Bengals have played the past 5 weeks, getting out the big leads, right? We saw it against the Ravens twice, 17-0, 9-0. We saw it against the Patriots like 5 weeks back. They got out to a 22-0 lead. The 2 games against the Bills, the one that was canceled, drove right down the field and scored. Did it twice in the playoff game against the Bills. So the Bengals have been money early in games. First couple drives, they're getting points. And to have to only get over 23.5 here with both teams, I think that's a pretty low number. Anything I think in the mid-20s, like even if it's like 24, 25 is probably a dead number, but I would be okay with playing, over. When we look at the Chiefs, right, all we know about is how Lou Anarumo has done a great job against Patrick Mahomes, but that has come with second half adjustments. They've scored a ton of points in the 3 games where these 2 teams have played, where Burrow has won all 3. Even in a losing effort, the Chiefs scored 28, 24, and 10 in the first half in those games. So they did have success in the beginning of the game. And by isolating the first half over, that kind of takes away some of the risk with Mahomes, right? We're just kind of need him to get through the first 2 quarters and get some points on the board. So that's how I attacked the first half. I mean, how did you bet this one, Dave? Do you have a side? Did you play the total? What did you fire on?
Yeah, so when it opened, I did a show Sunday night and saw that line is short, got to 1 on Sunday night with the Chiefs as the favorite. And I was ready to plug. I was ready to push on Bengals. I said, wait, I'm just going to wait and see here. Then it flips all the way to 2.5. And I'm like, I can't touch 2.5 now. I do still like the Bengals, though in my mind, I think anything under 3 doesn't matter. They've shown it in all these games. These teams score at such a high rate that they're going to end up on a key number. And I think we're going to be fine as long as it stays under 3. So I waited a little more just because I thought it would never get to 3. And now here we are again at 1. I did plug in Bengals 1 yesterday, 1.5 again today, getting on both sides. I feel like we're in a good spot here. The only concern I have is a little bit of that public sauce and juice coming in, because I'm sure a lot of people, really love the Bengals early. But when I saw it float back, I'm seeing even money dispersed. And that's what I want to see. And now my mind's getting clearer. I do like the Bengals. I think Burrow is just dialed in right now, Mark. He was so cool on the sidelines, and at the end of the game, he couldn't wait to drop that refund, line about the championship game being in Atlanta. Guys, send them refunds, and they have a chip on the shoulder. They have something to play for, and I just feel like they're good enough on both sides of the ball. People realize it, but don't really realize it. They're going to see it on display 6:30 on Sunday night. I think I'm not against your overplay just because the points have been up, but I'm just taking a side in this one right now, and it's Bengals.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on the Bengals too. And it's not really like, listen, I have all the respect in the world for Patrick Mahomes. Sure. And I don't think, as good as this rivalry has been, I don't think this is a situation where Patrick Mahomes can't figure out the Bengals. I just think that this isn't a fair fight, right? Like, Mahomes' ankle is going to limit him. And when you look at Amaru's defense, they eliminate the boundary. And if he's not mobile, they're just going to be able to drop more people back in the middle of the field and kind of congest things there with Kelsey. I like that. I think turnovers have killed the Chiefs all year. When you look at a -3 turnover margin on the season, that's not going to cut it. It didn't cut it in the regular season. That's how they lost that game this year to Cincinnati. They had the fumble. I think it was Kelsey at the end. Cincinnati's done a great job at that. +6. They're right outside the top 5 in turnover differential, where Kansas City's outside the top 20 at -3. I think that makes a difference. And I just think, the one thing about the Bengals defense, they get stronger as the game goes on. And you have to think that Mahomes' ankle is going to get worse as the game goes on, right? So that kind of leads. BetMGM has a fun prop. I don't go crazy on these kind of little parlays, but you can get Chiefs first half, Bengals final for like +550, which I think has a real possibility of hitting. But I'm with you here. I do like the Bengals to win the game. For those reasons, I think they're the right side here. We're going to see a lot of people, but I think it's fascinating, Dave, because it's really like bettors who really rely on their power ratings for the season against people who kind of like handicap the games at more of like an on-field level that kind of give more value to Burrow's success against this Chiefs team, to some of the schematic matchups. So you're seeing those two types of bettors contrast here. That's why you're seeing resistance in the line at both sides before it hits 3. But I think it's going to be an incredible game. I loved it. Listen, this Burrow Mahomes, this is Brady Manning for us. Like, this is the new Brady Manning. You have the more talented guy in Mahomes, just like kind of, Manning was more talented, but you have the other guy who's just seems more cool and collected and, just seems like a winner. I mean, he just nails at the end of the game. So it's going to be fun to see how this one turns out.
Absolutely. And one other point with Mahomes and his injury, I know that's going to be the most talked about thing. It already is going into this game, is what he did when he came back in the second half last week is something that you really have to assess and analyze. I think his deepest throw downfield was 8 yards. I think his average, completion went for like 6. And it was like the lowest of his career. Now it's small sample size, right? Only a half, but if we can extract that to what he may have to do, he's going to have to go quick. And like you said, he might not have that time to dance. And don't the Bengals have one of the best linebacking cores in the league? I mean, that Logan Wilson is everywhere.
I mean, their defense is great, dude.
Yeah. And
he's from Wyoming, right? Isn't he from Wyoming? Wasn't he Wyoming, Logan Wilson?
Because him and Josh Allen were like roommates. And I think they call Wilson the mayor of Wyoming. But anyway, long story short, I just think
all 5 people.
Yeah. And all the Mooses. But if we go back and look at that game, and that's what we're project, I think the Bengals can draw something up. There's no Tyreek. There's nobody to break you over the top. Juju's not going to do it. MVS, maybe, you get lucky. You get deep. Kadarius Toney ain't doing it. He's just in there for those jet sweeps and wide receiver screens. So it's they never even gave Sky Moore a chance. I just think everything's underneath, and I don't know how you can win against that good of a football team playing that style. That's just my thought.
Yeah, definitely. So good to see we're aligned here. We got a childhood greats checking in. Birds team total first half over as well. We're going to talk about that on the other side, guys. We're going to wrap this one up. We'll be back to talk about the NFC Championship game in just a couple minutes. As you can tell from our gear, you probably know where we're heading on that one. But being from Philadelphia, but we're going to come back. We're going to break it down and analyze it and look at some betting angles in that one. But for this game, AFC Championship, we are both on the Bengals. I have a little first half over 23.5. I think that's a play for the reasons I discussed. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you download the app. Get in the Discord. Links are in the description. Guys, hop into Discord. Check it out. Listen, they'll give you, you'll see access. You'll get free access to all the tools and models and everything that we use. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be winning a lot of money. Still a couple games left here in the NFL season. And then everything continues with college basketball and all the other, summer, spring sports that kind of kick in there. So make sure you join the community over at the Sharp app. We'll see you on the other side with the NFC Championship preview. Best of luck to all your bets.